Happening now, the Southwestern Central School District has moved its instruction to remote only. Why? Coming up. Plus, the future of Falconer's Christmas festivities.
Well, we've got a few clouds out there, but the sun is going to prevail through the day, then big changes over the weekend. I'll tell you about it next. The news at noon starts right now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now on this Friday. I'm Justin Gould. The Southwestern Central School District has moved its instruction to remote learning, as several students and staff are being quarantined by the Chautauqua County Health Department. School administrators say students and staff in all three of its buildings are quarantined after coming in contact with residents who tested positive for COVID-19. As a result of staffing concerns and a precautionary measure, the district is moving to remote learning from today to Tuesday. Now, the district is scheduled to start their Thanksgiving break next Wednesday, with classes resuming on Monday, November 30th. School leaders say even though the county is not facing state requirements on districts to move to remote learning, they are doing their part to slow the spread of COVID-19 as their infection rate rises in the district. Now, last month, a teacher working at the district's elementary school tested positive for COVID-19, the first case of a virus reported in that school since the outbreak began. Well, 36 new cases of COVID-19 were reported here in Chautauqua County yesterday, with 155 of them now active. The city of Jamestown has reported the highest number of new infections with 8 cases. There are currently 12 people hospitalized with the virus in the county. Meanwhile, Cattaraugus County reported 35 new cases yesterday, with 236 now active. The county's infection rate, which health leaders are monitoring closely, also rose to 4.8%. Now, leaders are worried if the rate remains above the 3.5% threshold for more than 7 days, they would qualify for the state's yellow zone. Well, the holidays are right around the corner, but because of coronavirus, this holiday season won't be like any other we've seen. Gathering together is what the holidays are all about, and that plus colder weather is exactly what accelerates the spread of COVID-19. And as Reed Binion reports, officials say traveling home for the holidays is also a risky thing to do.
Next week, Americans will celebrate Thanksgiving, which normally sees some of the busiest travel days of the year. But this year, with the pandemic worsening, officials are warning against traveling for the holiday. The CDC posting updated guidelines for safe celebration and officially recommending that Americans not travel. For those who do or who choose to gather together, local and state leaders like South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster are urging caution and testing.
We have to be careful. We have to be smart. I'm asking that you do something very important, something that could save lives at Thanksgiving, and that is get tested before turkey.
As far as family gatherings, the nation's top infectious disease expert, Dr. Anthony Fauci, says the decision should be based on each family's unique circumstances.
Take a look at your family and you say, do I have a person there who's an elderly person, a person with an underlying medical condition? Do I want to take that risk right now?
Dr. Fauci emphasizing the importance of remaining vigilant as we await coronavirus vaccines.
Vaccines are close by. They're coming. Pretty soon, we're going to get a heck of a lot of help from a very efficacious vaccine. 2 vaccines.
One of those vaccines, developed by drug giant Pfizer and German company BioNTech, will be submitted to the FDA Friday as the companies request emergency use authorization. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Reed, thank you. Here in New York State, the governor has issued guidance limiting gatherings to less than 10 people ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday. Well, like many communities nationwide, officials in the village of Falconer have officially canceled this year's Santa Claus parade, but are planning another way to welcome the Christmas cheer. Instead, officials say Santa Claus will be escorted by the Falconer Fire Department around the village on Saturday, December 5th, starting at 10 a.m. To view the route in advance of Santa's arrival, visit the Falconers' Facebook page. Now, we spoke with Mayor James Jarzinski, who tells us that the village wanted to find a way to bring in holiday cheer while keeping residents safe.
Still wanted to give our residents some form of the Santa parade. You know, we know that we can't do because of the statewide COVID and the national COVID, and you know, even here locally, our county, our numbers, you see the numbers every day from Chautauqua County, and we just wanted to try to give our residents some sort of, holiday cheer a little bit. You know, not canceling the Santa parade totally, but kind of redoing it a little bit and restructuring it. So.
Now, children and their families will be able to see Santa as he passes through their neighborhoods. Santa will ride around on the village will start at SKF on Elmwood Avenue. He will then travel his way around the town in an old Mack fire truck. Certainly very exciting for a lot of people there. And during the actual parade, they will be posting on the village's Facebook page updates as to where Santa is so that kids don't have to wait outside the entire time. Super exciting to see, and even here in Jamestown, still able to participate in some of the holiday festivities. Let us know what you think about this and more in the comments down below as we make our way through this very unprecedented holiday season with Thanksgiving less than 7 days away now. Good to see Angie. Good to see Susie, Christy, David. Good Friday to you. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Great to see Dan, Gina, Kathy, John, Darlene, Joseph, Wendy, and Raymond. Happy Friday to all of you. We thank you so much for tuning in every day. You're the reason why we certainly keep everybody up to date on local news. And a big part of that local news is our leading local weather forecast team. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter joins us now live with a first look at the weather. And Dakota, we're talking about Christmas, talking about Thanksgiving, but it really feels like we should be talking about spring.
I know. I mean, it doesn't even feel like the season. I mean, radio stations are already starting to play Christmas music, but it doesn't feel like it. But as we told you earlier in the week, the snow that we had wasn't going to last long. Look outside. It's basically all gone, but it's not looking pretty out there because the snow has kind of started to change some of the grass out there. But the satellite imagery shows you we have a few high clouds drifting in. That'll be it. It's going to remain dry today with a good amount of sunshine, but it is much warmer today than it was yesterday. We're up to 55 here in town right now, 55 in Mayville, 61 in Fredonia, 63 Dunkirk, 62 in Brant, which is just on the Erie County line, and 60 already in Erie. But when you take a look at the temperature change over the past 24 hours, we are 8 degrees warmer here in town, 4 degrees warmer in Mayville, 7 degrees warmer in Randolph, 11 degrees warmer in Delavan, and 6 degrees warmer over in Harbor Creek. So it is much warmer today, and we're basically going to classify today as a hot day because it's basically going to be almost hot for this time of the year. 57 was the high yesterday. We did 2 degrees better than our forecasted high, but we should be around 46 this time of the year. 75 and 8 are the record highs and lows at the airport for this day. So as I just told you, it's going to be a hot day out there, relatively speaking, a good supply of sunshine. It's still going to be breezy, but almost summer-like. 56 inland, 65 near the Lake Erie shoreline. In fact, some spots may actually go a little bit higher than the 65-degree high. We'll see as we go through the afternoon with that southwest wind 15 to 30 miles per hour. But as I told you, some big changes are on the way for the weekend, and it's changes I don't think you're going to like, but I'll tell you about it in detail in a few. Justin?
All right, Dakota, we'll stay tuned for it. Thank you. Well, some Jamestown residents are still cleaning up following a windstorm last weekend, and the Jamestown Board of Public Utilities are now trying to make that process a little bit easier. The BPU are opening their yard waste site from 8 to noon tomorrow to assist solid waste customers in cleaning up properties after that weather. The yard waste site is located at 1001 Monroe Street here in Jamestown. Yard waste stickers from both 2019-20 and 2021-22 will be accepted for entrance. Now, the site is previously closed for the season, but the weekend storm resulted in many branches, sticks, and twigs falling onto yards. The site will be open to residential customers for their storm debris. New York State's 10-member Independent Redistricting Commission met virtually yesterday. Now, as New York State's Capitol correspondent Karina Campabianca explains, the group is tasked with redrawing the state's legislative office and congressional line districts.
Back in 2014, voters in New York approved a ballot proposal amending the state constitution to create an independent redistricting commission to come up with the lines for congressional, state assembly, and state senate seats. Those lines are determined every 10 years following the census count.
It's not fully independent because the majority of the commissioners are appointed by the legislature, but it is separate and apart from the legislature in its functioning and in its role in the redistricting process.
The commission is still in its early stages. Much of today's discussion was about leadership roles, bylaws, and public outreach. No agreement on chair roles was reached today.
I do think that having two chairs, whether it's co-chairs or a chair and vice chair that have equal power, is probably the way to go, because again, this is a bipartisan commission. There's already bipartisan co-executive directors. It kind of makes sense to have bipartisan chairs, but it's up to the commission at the end of the day. This is our first go at this. They get to decide what they want to do.
They did agree to begin putting together a website for public information. Wilson says the maps they create will need to be available to the public in September, and they will need to hold public hearings. The deadline to have their final maps to the legislature to be voted on for approval is January 1st of 2022.
So in between that timeline, this basic whole year is going to be them looking at the census counts, working with local community groups and individuals on figuring out what these new maps are going to look like.
Today, the commission did agree to try to have a website live and open for public input by mid-January. In Albany, Karina Capabianca.
Karina, thank you. Redistricting is a common conversation for those in government following population changes captured during the U.S. Census. Well, straight ahead here, a lot more to tell you about. A Chautauqua County man is accused of making fraudulent purchases on a business account. Hear how much money he allegedly stole. And later, how gratitude impacts our mental health. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues.
Coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
Want weather now? Download the WNY News Now mobile app and stay up to date on severe weather alerts. Plus, anytime hazardous weather strikes, stick with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network that keeps you safe. You're all in a tornado warning, so now is the time to go to a safe place, small room, lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. What are you waiting for? Download the WNY News Now mobile app today. It's free in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
A Chautauqua County man is facing several charges after allegedly making fraudulent purchases with another person's business account last month. The Chautauqua County Sheriff's Office Criminal Investigation Division tells us that 26-year-old Andrew Sissom purchased more than $1,200 in items at the Westfield Napa Auto Parts store with a business account that wasn't his. Furthermore, investigators say that he used the same account to buy more than $800 in items at Lumber True Value. Sissom is charged with fourth-degree grand larceny and petty larceny. Deputies say he was issued an appearance ticket and is scheduled to appear in Westfield Town Court at a later date. The Westfield Police Department assisted deputies with their investigation. Well, the St. Bonaventure men's basketball program is pausing all team activities after a member of the team's Tier 1 personnel tested positive for COVID-19. The program was notified of the positive result yesterday. As a result, the team will not participate in the upcoming Morgan Sun Bubbleville games in Connecticut. They had been slated to play 3 games from November 25th to the 27th. Meanwhile, the university is now transitioning to fully remote classes. The school was scheduled to move remote learning on Wednesday ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday. However, because of increased COVID-19 activity within Cattaraugus County, they're making that switch sooner. The university's president says residential students must turn in their keys by noon on Sunday. Well, being grateful is about recognizing and appreciating all the good in your life. And experts tell our Mandy Gaither it's also good for your mental health and can benefit for not just adults, but kids too.
It's not something we're born with, but we can all learn to be grateful.
When we feel grateful, we tend to be in a better mood, we're less stressed and happier, and we often feel more optimistic and positive and hopeful.
With the stress from the election season, the economy, pandemic, and more, it's especially important to practice gratitude now, says licensed therapist Jody Baumstein with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta's Strong for Life. Baumstein says the earlier the better when it comes to learning the concept of gratitude. She says parents should go back to the basics, teach kids how and when to say thank you, be a role model by being thankful yourself, and find ways to help kids appreciate what they have.
If you have the opportunity to even hop in a car and go to a farm or an orchard and show them how things are grown, how things are processed and made, it will help them understand.
Practicing gratitude can be something as simple as sharing one thing for which you're grateful at dinner, or for something tangible.
You might choose to have a gratitude jar in your home and have some pieces of paper nearby, some pens and pencil, and encouraging everybody at least once a day to write something that they're grateful for.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Mandy, thank you. Experts say giving back can also go a long way towards practicing gratitude. You could bring older kids with you to volunteer in the community, or let your younger child help you sort toys, food, or clothes to donate to others. Well, as the regular season of deer hunting begins tomorrow, AAA is warning motorists across Western New York to buckle up and be extra cautious when on the roads. The Auto Club says hunting will stir the deer population, which is already active due to their mating season. They say their analysis of crash data statewide found that October, November, and December are by far the peak months for animal crashes, notably deer, with November typically the most active. There were more than 36,000 animal-related crashes in the state in 2019, an increase of 10% from the previous year and by far the most in the past decade. Motorists should be especially vigilant while driving in the dark. AAA says most crashes occur in the 2 hours before sunrise and after sunset each day. Certainly good luck to all of our hunters who might be hitting the woods this weekend, and please be safe. Well, we thank you for joining us for WNY News Now as we wrap out another week and get ready for the pre-Thanksgiving weekend that's coming our way. Good to see Misty, Becca, Ashley, and Carrie on the broadcast. Thanks so much for joining us today. Good to see Jeff, Polly, and Cameron as well. Let us know what all of you are doing in the comments down below. We love to hear from you. If you have thoughts about these stories and more, just type it in and we'll get back to you. Well, now let's get a check of our First Defense weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter joins us from the First Defense Weather Center. And Dakota, as we mentioned at the top of the show, it really is a pretty nice day out there, certainly. Not feeling like the pre-Thanksgiving weather that Western New York is so used to.
Yeah, I know. I mean, this year it's been kind of topsy-turvy with the weather, and there's a little hint in what Justin just said before he tossed it to me. He was actually doing his new voicemail inbox. We'll get back to you. Or message us if you're just crazed. I mean, we'll get back to you.
Whatever, yeah.
Let's take a look at this. Now, this is something that we put together this morning, and the team and I looked at all of the data so far for this month. Now, understand this is as we run for the month, so this data is obviously skewed a little bit because we're obviously not done with the month yet. But as we run, our average monthly temperature is 46.1 degrees as we run right now. So if the month were to end today, we would so the month would end at 4.1 degrees below normal for the average month. We've had 1.9 inches of rain so far this month. That's down almost 3/4 of an inch. We've had 2.5 inches of snow. That's down about 1.2 inches to where we should be this time of the year. And the big key thing is we'll see where it goes here. We've still got a few more days left of November, so we'll see what happens here as we go throughout the next week and a half here. 55 as a noon hour right now. Man, it feels fantastic out there, but we do see a few clouds from the top of the Doubletree Hotel, but we still have this healthy southwest breeze of 16 and the wind chill down to a measly 51 degrees. So yeah, it's not that bad, but the winds really are still going to remain the factor for today. The winds have came down a little bit from today, kind of compared to where they were yesterday, but in some spots we're still expecting wind gusts near 40 miles an hour. So if you are putting your trash can out, you might find it next door. At least you're not going to be looking for it like you were yesterday in some spots, and hopefully you found it after Sunday. The satellite and radar composite shows you mainly quiet across much of the country right now. There's actually a cold front that is parked just over Chicago right now. That front is going to be moving through on Sunday, and that is going to usher in the big change that we put in the forecast yesterday. Now, we're starting future scan tomorrow. Nothing today, nothing tomorrow, but more clouds tomorrow. I think tomorrow will be mostly cloudy to complete overcast, but watch what happens here essentially as we go into Sunday. We're going to start off as rain, then we may actually transition over a period of wet snow, then this pink area down here, this is that wintry mixed precipitation. So on Sunday, it's going to be cold, temperatures down into the 40s. We were expecting to be up in the 50s once again with a warm front, but that warm front is going to get eaten alive by impending colder air. It's not going to make it. So that is the reason why we're trending colder with rain and snow mix on Sunday, and then that'll continue into Monday as well, and temperatures continue to remain cool. And this hurricane season has been absolutely impressive. The National Hurricane Center is monitoring another area that is just to the south of Bermuda, and this is going to be the area where it might develop. There's no chance of development over the next 48 hours, but over the next 5 days, the NHC does give it a 20% chance. It's relatively low. And speaking of the hurricane season, this is the most active hurricane season on record. We've gone to Iota in the Greek name. The furthest we ever gone was Zeta, so we went to Eta and Iota. The next one is Theta, and if it should form, we've had 30 named storms this year. That is the most ever for a hurricane season. Absolutely impressive. 36 to 44 tonight, partly to mostly cloudy. It'll be a bit chilly, but the winds will settle down overnight, so it won't be as windy. How about the future? The next 7 days of your life, brought to you by 42 degrees and sunny. 41 tomorrow, 42 on Sunday. Again, we trended cooler because the cold front is going to be moving on through here. Then as we take a look at Monday, 39 degrees, best we'll be able to do. The sun is back on Tuesday and a few rain showers Wednesday. Early look at Thanksgiving should be mainly dry and seasonable with temperatures in the upper 40s. We will take a break and be right back.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
First Defense Weather is sponsored by 42 Degrees and Sunny, smokin' deals on smoking accessories. Learn more at 42degreesandsunny.com. That's 42degreesandsunny.com.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
And welcome back to WNY News Now. In an effort to help animals find their forever home, we're partnered with the Chautauqua County Humane Society in our Pet of the Week segment. Joining us live is Amanda Sublett from the Humane Society with more on our furry friend, Honey Bear. Happy Friday, Amanda. Thanks for being here today.
Hi, Justin. So Honey Bear, this guy right here hanging out, he is about 6.5 years old. He's a domestic short hair cat, and he is the sweetest thing you've ever met. If you're looking for a lap buddy, somebody to hang out with you and cuddle all day, he's your guy. He's going to cuddle all day long. He likes to cuddle with his people and other cats. Usually he's got somebody else with him. But we do have something special about him to note, and that is that he is FIV positive. A lot of people do get scared by that, but it's really nothing to be afraid of. He can live happily with other cats. If you can see, we've got one right here. This is Leela. They're hanging out. They do just fine together. There's nothing to be concerned about. But because people get scared, it does hold him back a little bit. So he's been here for quite a while looking for that new home.
What's it like to try to break down that stereotype? I imagine when you're talking about animals in shelters, sometimes there is a stereotype that they're coming from a shelter. How do you work with people who are coming in and say, I'm interested in this animal, but I want to make sure that they're going to, live a happy, healthy life before, I bring them into my family?
I think there's two parts to that. One part is the suggestion, because if you don't suggest a cat like this, you'll never have that chance. Nobody's going to be open to it. But the other part is education. If you don't know anything about it and you're not willing to learn, that's going to hold us back. But if you are willing to listen, you're willing to learn and hear a little bit more, we can teach you that it really is okay and it's not going to be anything you have to worry about. And in this case, obviously with him being with some other cats, that is our biggest concern sending him into another home, is we don't want the other cats to be affected by it, but they're not going to be. They're going to be happy and healthy just as long as they're getting along. Obviously, we want everybody to be happy and coexist.
Absolutely. I think that probably pushes over to humans too, but that's another conversation for another day. A lot of times when in my experience, my family has always tried to adopt shelter animals, and they're some of the best pets that you could ever have is a rescue, because they're so grateful. In our last segment, we were talking about gratitude and how that helps mental health. And in this case, not only are you changing the life of an animal, but a lot of times they'll change your family too.
Absolutely. When somebody is looking for a pet, what they're truly looking at is the appearance. And it's not just about appearances. We want them to consider all aspects. What's their personality like, and how's that going to fit into their lifestyle?
Yeah, certainly. So Amanda, thanks so much for spending some time with us today. And again, if we could take another look at Honey Bear there, absolutely a great cat, chilling out. This is what I would be doing on a Friday afternoon if I could, really, just taking a big nap. To learn more about Honey Bear or other residents of the shelter, simply contact the Chautauqua County Humane Society at 716-665-2209. The easiest way to get the application process rolling so you can set up a visit is head online to chqhumane.org. Well, now let's get a final check of our weather forecast, and Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter joining us again. And Dakota, we've been doing the Pet of the Week segment for a couple of months now, and through a pandemic even. I mean, almost, if you think about it, we're coming up on a year.
Yeah,
and
because we started it at the beginning of the year, I believe.
And I think it's amazing because it's given us a real look into this community of rescued animals. And the work that they do at the Humane Society is so incredible. And like we mentioned, I think when you have a pet in your household, and my household is actually trying, we can't where we live now, but we're thinking about changing our location of our home,
right,
to get a pet. because they really do change your life.
And, you know, I mentioned it before. It's like, you know, the cat I had, she was basically a rescue. My mom got her at a sale of some sort. I guess an elderly lady passed away, and she had a cat who had kittens, and they just gave them away for free at the sale. So,
and you find some great cats. My mom found a great cat at a garage sale that she got for free because the cat had no other home. And that's exactly what the animals that you're getting are almost, I think, sometimes better than those who come from a kennel. Is you can really find some great animals. So chqhumane.org is the place to go. Well, this weekend, Dakota, minus some raindrops, I hear, it's going to feel like spring out there.
Well, the weekend, big changes in store. Let's take a look at that 42 degrees and sunny 7-day one final time. So Sunday, again, you know, we made big changes here. More clouds tomorrow, 41. Sunday's just going to be icky, 42. We keep the rain and snow going through early next week. And Thanksgiving, as of now, looks mainly dry, and temperatures may approach 50. Once again, stay tuned for our full forecast next week on that.
All right, we'll certainly keep our ears, Dakota. Thank you. That's going to do it for us today. Of course, news continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com. Dakota and I are back on Monday right here live at noon. Hope to see you then. In the meantime, download our mobile app on the Apple App Store, Google Play Store. We'll keep you informed all weekend long. Have a great day.